I've been married to my husband, James, for 4 years, and we've got 2 kids under our arms. Honestly, I used to be super confident about my figure, but after 2 pregnancies, I'm a mess. Sagging belly wrinkled like a roasted apple, hair thinning out no matter how much I try to bring back its old shine. It's made me terrified of losing James. Out there, the world's full of young women ready to snatch husbands, not to mention all the temptations at his office. I was always worried he'd slip away. But today, I'm finally at peace. James might not be rich or brilliant, but he's got guts and integrity that make me proud I picked him. It all started when a new girl, Mia, moved into the apartment across from ours. Her place was on the 2nd floor, right in line with our bedroom balcony. First impression? She was pretty, fair-skinned, brown hair about 5 feet 6 inches, slim like a model. The only downside was her voice, shrill and grating, like dishes clashing together. When she greeted the neighbors, I winced. Still, the moms in our building were friendly at first, chatting her up, sharing snacks like she was family. I figured she'd join our little gossip crew. But by day 3, the drama kicked off. The neighborhood moms started whispering about Mia's job. She'd told them she was 23, from a small town where she sold fruit with her parents, and had moved to the city to work at a beauty clinic. That explained her trendy outfits and flawless makeup. But her schedule? Weird. She'd sleep till noon, then doll up in fancy dresses and choking perfume before heading out. Some nights, she'd roll back at 11 or midnight in a shiny car. The moms peeked through their curtains and buzzed. No way, she's just a clinic worker. She's hooking up with rich guys. Look at those designer bags and shoes. Even I got curious and told James, she's probably one of those sugar babies you see online. At first, it didn't bother me much. I barely mingle with that crowd. But a month later, I joined their group chat to plot how to get rid of her. Mia had a habit that drove us nuts. Every afternoon, she'd drag a chair to her balcony, plop down with oversized sunglasses and a drink, and cool off in the skimpiest outfits. Red lace dresses barely covering her thighs, plunging tank tops, sheer robes showing off her bra. Us working-class wives and office drones in our plain clothes couldn't believe it. It was like a supermodel had invaded our humble block. The moms hated her guts, but the men? They'd gawk with shameless stares. I started panicking when James suddenly got obsessed with watering our plants every afternoon. "Gotta tend the garden," he'd say, heading to the rooftop. I knew he was sneaking peeks at Mia. What guy wouldn't? She'd even accidentally nap out there, letting the wind flip her skirt up to flash her legs. It was a disaster waiting to happen. The moms and I brainstormed ways to make her leave, but nothing stuck. Her flirty hellos to any guy passing by only fueled our rage. Then today, Mia took it too far. She lounged out there in a sheer nightgown, no bra, everything on display. I froze when James got home from work, looking beat from a rough Monday. Mia sang out, "Hey James, you're back. You look so tired. Doesn't your wife take care of you? You seem miserable." My heart sank, expecting him to flirt back. But instead, he kicked off his shoes and snapped, "Spare me your nonsense. I've got a headache, and here's some crazy chick acting like she's never seen clothes. Back home, even pigs cover up better. My wife's saggy and all, but at least she's not flashing garbage for attention. Go buy a squash. Might be tastier than that flabby mess you're showing off." The whole block erupted in laughter. James roasted her so hard I couldn't stop grinning. He went on that night, saying, "I wouldn't touch a girl like that with a 10-foot pole." After that, Mia stopped her balcony shows. By month's end, she quietly moved out, leaving her stuff behind. Rumor has it a rich guy's wife caught her in the act, cut her off, and left her broke. She's back home selling fruit now. Good riddance. She picked the dirty money route and paid for it. But then came a curveball. My ex-mother-in-law, Helen, showed up with 2 gold bars, saying, "This is a dowry. I'm here to ask you to remarry my son, Robert." I dropped the teapot I was holding. Robert and I divorced 4 years ago. Asset split, kids sorted. Helen had called me selfish back then, blaming me for not thinking of the kids. She hadn't visited once in 4 years, so why now? She looked frail, 55, but aged a decade, hands trembling as she offered the gold. I felt a pang of pity. She wasn't evil, just too soft on Robert, which tanked our marriage. I sat her down and said, "This is sudden, Helen. Robert and I are done. Our daughter, Lily, probably doesn't even remember him." She crumpled to her knees, begging me to come back. Shocked, I helped her up and asked for the full story. She explained, after our split, Robert vanished, only returning recently with the gold, pleading with her to win me back. He'd lost a leg in an accident, couldn't work, and Helen was too old to manage alone. They needed me to care for them. I nearly exploded. 6 years ago, Helen hid Robert's flaws when she proposed, his gambling, his obsession with fighting cocks. I slaved away at home while he blew cash on bets and fed his birds better than us. 2 years in, I dragged him to court. Now that I'd built a decent life, they wanted me back as their nursemaid. Furious, I shoved her out, yelling, "You and Robert can fend for yourselves. I'm not your blood. I owe you nothing." But Helen rolled on the ground, screaming to passers-by that I'd stolen her gold and attacked her. A crowd gathered, cursing me. Then Robert hobbled up on crutches, playing peacemaker. "Everyone, calm down," he said, then turned to me. "I've changed. I still love you. I worked hard for that gold to give us a fresh start for Lily." His words sounded sincere, no lies in his eyes. Helen sobbed, "He can't manage alone. Lily needs a dad." I paused. Lily barely knew him, but I'd always wanted her to have both parents. Could he really have turned over a new leaf? I told them, "I'll think about it, but no promises." Later, I decided no remarriage. I'd let Robert see Lily sometimes, but I'm done being their crutch. They need to stand on their own. Family drama doesn't end there. My half-sister, Emma, has been a thorn in my side forever. Same dad, different moms. Before marrying my dad had a fling with Emma's mom, a neighbor. They planned to wed, but her family moved away, pregnant with Emma. After her mom died when I was in 2nd grade, Emma, 3 years older, moved in with us. She was a nightmare, always competing, stirring trouble. My mom struggled to keep peace, but Dad and Grandma spoiled Emma, saying she lacked a mother's love, while I got the short end. I'll never forget 5th grade. Emma, in 8th, lied that Mom beat her and badmouthed her to her teacher, tanking her grades. Dad believed her, hit Mom, and burned her clothes in the yard. I clung to Mom, sobbing, but no one cared. Mom proved the truth through Emma's teacher. Her grades sucked because she broke rules, not Mom's fault. Dad begged us back, and Mom agreed for my sake. But the unfairness never stopped. Emma got new clothes. I wore her hand-me-downs. Her New Year's cash doubled mine. Grandma even guilt people into giving her extra. I fought back by excelling in school, landing a top college spot. There, I met Ethan, my boyfriend of 2 years. I brought him home, and Emma whispered, "I've got dibs on him." I laughed it off until she secretly texted him, trashed me, and stole him. He dumped me, saying, "I love Emma now." Soon they were engaged. At their wedding, she smirked, "I won. Everything good you have will be mine." Dad cheered them on, saying she deserved Ethan more. I walked away crushed. Mom and I are moving out. No more toxic family. Ethan's their problem now. Then there's my dad, Thomas. He's a carpenter. Mom's a teacher. Simple folks. I'm 21, working part-time, self-sufficient. My brother, Jack, is a good kid. Outsiders think we're perfect, but Dad's a drunk. Sober, he's fine. Wasted, he's a monster. Criticizing Mom's looks, calling us kids useless, bragging to his buddies. Last Het, he gave away our holiday ducks to his pals. Mom came home to an empty coop, livid. His cousins mooch off us too, eating our food, leaving messes, and Dad foots their late-night barbecue bills, racking up debt Mom pays off. For his birthday, Jack and I bought him a nice leather shoe pair, over $1 million dong. But his drunk friends mocked it as cheap junk. Dad joined in. "You got me market trash? Toss it." He threw it outside. I cried. Jack bawled. Mom snapped, "I'm sorry I picked the wrong dad for you." Next day, she left a divorce paper. Dad sobered up, groveled, but we're done. Mom's filing soon, freedom's close. Love's been rough too. At 29, I fell for Mark, a co-worker everyone pitted. I saw his kindness, not his flaws. Then he cheated with my best friend, Sophie. I caught them at the movies, flipped out, and dumped them both. Single and jaded, I got an invite to their wedding. Furious, I hired Daniel, a mysterious online friend, to pose as my rich date. Surprise! He was my CEO boss, who'd been secretly cheering me up. At the wedding, he outshone Mark and later confessed, "Date me for real." I said yes. Best revenge ever. Finally, there's Alex, a singer I loved before he hit it big. We met at a gig, tall, charming, humble. We dated quietly for 3 months, but fame changed him. His hit single soared. Our calls faded. He went public as single, cutting me out. I confronted him. "I can't love you in the shadows." He didn't fight for us. It's over. Now I'm rebuilding, stronger, wiser, and done with liars.